we were all raised on this lake as little boys, and we've been good friends for 76 years. And we have never seen it as bad as this year.
Never.
They killed a lot of wildlife on this lake this past winter and this spring. Last fall, the water level's been an ongoing problem, and we checked the stats.
There is no management plan for this lake, like for the, where someone could sit down and say, this is the plan for the environmental protection and operation of this lake. There isn't one.
Well,
and so we are urging, and in fact, Chief Bastian of the Mattawa North Bay Algonquin has called a meeting next week of all the heavy hitters, trying to draw to the people's attention, because when we contact them, we get the old usual response. We're doing our best. We don't have the budget. We don't have the staff. We don't have that. We don't have this.
The biggest problem here now, it looks like the ministry only works on, they don't work Friday afternoon, Saturday, Sunday. And by the time they get back and do anything, it's Monday or Tuesday. If it happens to be a holiday weekend, then you're talking Wednesday before they get back.
are you saying the lake doesn't operate on banking hours?
Yeah.
That's hard for them to understand, I guess.
Yeah. Last spring, I thought, holy smokes, I've never seen the water this low. But it was nothing compared to what it is this year.
They didn't dam and pump around or nothing. They just went in, hauled them out. The mud and everything come down the creek. The same thing, whatever they had to dig, they dug out, throw some down the creek, let it go. What little bit they did take out, they hauled it over and dumped it in the park right beside the creek. So the last fall, the same fall when the rains come in October, washed most of that back in the creek.
And that affected the spawning bed?
Oh, definitely. It's done. It's finished. They'll never spawn there again. So they're blaming it on the beavers, but the beavers didn't change them culverts. So sure, they had dams break.
And you were calling and complaining during
Yes,
the
I
operation?
called the ministry and I called my chief. I called the township.
What'd they say?
Just let them work. That's all. So it's sad to see such a nice creek ruined completely.
The pickerel spawning beds, Roger and I were out last week, and the pickerel spawning beds were high and dry. I mean, it is just awful. And this is compounded by the silt coming off the Talon Lake Road, which flows directly into Blanchard's Landing. And my friends here, who are fishing experts, they estimate there's about 5 feet of silt in the Blanchard's Landing Basin, which is where the fish spawn. There's about 5 feet of silt. And Sharp's Creek over here, which receives the water from goes through those culverts that Don Paquette talked about. We have new sandbars there, and where we used to take our kids to play and so forth, you can hardly even get there today. It's just full of sand, logs, junk, pieces of the work that they've done. And so it is just criminal what has gone on here. And it isn't that the environmental disaster is happening, it has happened. This past winter, they had dropped the water so low that the wells, people on the Kapuskong who live here, their wells ran dry. My well ran dry. Like, this is my permanent residence over here. And I've never had it run dry. In fact, I had Dave Humphreys here deepen it. And we took it down several inches below the lowest level of water, as forecast by the MNR. They went lower.
That's where it was wrong. You went forecast by MNR.
Yeah.
You should have used a stick.
Yeah.